بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا فيه كما يحب ربنا ويرضاه. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله الناصح الأمين. اللهم صل على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ومن تمسك بسنته إلى يوم الدين. ثم أما بعد، يا عباد الله، الحمد لله على نعمة الإسلام والسنة. All praise and thanks belong to Allah for guiding us to Islam and for guiding us to the Sunnah. قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتابه الكريم: يا أيها الذين آمنوا قوا أنفسكم وأهليكم نارا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentions inside of His noble book, O you who believe. Now when we hear this statement, O you who believe, كما قال عبد الله بن مسعود رضي الله تعالى عنه: إذا سمعت الله يقول يا أيها الذين آمنوا فأرعي سمعك فإنه خير يؤمر به أو شر ينهى عنه. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he said that when you hear Allah saying, O you who believe, then listen very attentively to it, meaning to the statement, because verily what follows it is either going to be a good that you are commanded to do, or is going to be an evil that you are prohibited from. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He commands the believers here in this ayah, قُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ وَأَهْلِيكُمْ نَارًا. Protect yourselves and your family from a fire. It is incumbent that we reflect deeply upon this ayah, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is commanding us to protect ourselves and our families, to ward off from ourselves and from our families a fire. That fire, وَقُودُهَا النَّاسُ وَالْحِجَارَةُ, that its fuel is human beings and stones. Its fuel is human beings and stones. عَلَيْهَا مَلَائِكَةٌ, they are appointed as guards of the hellfire, malaika, angels. What is the description of these angels in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala He gives to us? These angels who they are over the hellfire, the guards of the hellfire. غِلَابٌ شِدَادٌ, that they are stern and they are severe. لَا يَعْصُونَ اللَّهَ مَا أَمْرَهُمْ, they do not disobey Allah in what they are commanded to do. وَيَفْعَلُونَ مَا يُؤْمَرُونَ, and they do what they are commanded to do. This ayah here shows us that this situation is serious. It shows us that for those who enter into the hellfire, then for them will be punishment. For them will be a chastisement. There will be no negotiation with those angels who are over the hellfire guarding it. There will be no getting out. There will be no safety for those who enter into the hellfire and shall abide therein forever. وَعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. When we understand that this is the case, and when we understand that what we are trying to ward ourselves from and our families from is something that is tremendously terrifying, something that is the epitome of what we don't want to see, something that is the ultimate torture, the ultimate loss, the ultimate destruction. When we see this, then we realize that we have to take all means possible. We have to strive sincerely, earnestly, He's very vigilant upon those things by way in which we will escape the hellfire, and by avoiding those things that will earn us the hellfire. So we have to be diligent in doing those things that are a means of escape. And we have to be diligent in staying away from those things which are a means of entry into the hellfire. One of the things that the one who is wise, they do, is they reflect and they contemplate over the plight of others. They reflect and they contemplate over the situation of others. So they look and see who has benefited, and what were those things by way in which they had done to benefit. Who are those who are successful, and what are those things in which they had done that got them that success. And then they implement it, and they strive to do it. And they also look at those who are ruined, and what was the means and cause by way in which those ones reached ruin. What is the means? What was the reason that those ones, they met their destruction? They take an admonition from this, because in that, it teaches them what not to do. When it comes to the hellfire, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He informs us over those things that will happen on the Day of Judgment. Those things that will happen in the conversation that will be between the people of the Jannah and those who are in the hellfire. Those people in the Jannah, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala informs us, they will ask those in the hellfire, مَا سَلَكَكُمْ فِي سَقَرٍ? What did you do to earn you the fire? How come you're in the fire? So they'll be asking about the asbab. What were those causes? What were those reasons? Why are you in the fire? How come you're in the fire? And I want you to pay very close attention to their answer, because their answer is the answer of what got them thrown into the hellfire. The answer is the reason that they are in the hellfire. Why are they in the hellfire? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He tells us, قَالُوا لَمْ نَكُنْ مِنَ الْمُصَلِّينَ. They will say, because we were not from those who used to pray. They will say, لَمْ نَكُنْ مِنَ الْمُصَلِّينَ. We were not from those who used to make salah. Ya ibadallah, istami'u. Listen very attentively. This is the first reason that they will give to why they are in the hellfire. Because they were not from those who prayed. They were not from those who offer salah. They were not from those who bow their head down to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They were not from those who prostrate themselves to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is why they are inside of the hellfire. I don't want us to look at this just from the standpoint of English faith, just from the standpoint of FYI, just from the standpoint, look at them. No, but rather I want us to ask ourselves. How is your prayer? How is your salah? How is the salah of your family? How is their prayers? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commands us to safeguard ourselves and our families from the fire. Not praying is that which will enter people into the fire. Not praying is from the reasons and the causes by way in which a person will go to hell. So how is your prayer? How is your salah? How is the salah of your families? Do they pray on time? Do they pray properly? Do they pray in the correct manner? Do they have khushu' in their prayer? Are they paying attention? Do they have attentiveness inside of the prayer? Do they know how to pray? These are things that we have to ask ourselves. Because if we are going to be successful as a community, then we need to understand that the rectification, it begins with ourselves. Al-Islah, rectification, it begins with the individual, and then the family, and then the community. So if we as individuals are in a state of disarray, if we ourselves are in a state that we need to rectify ourselves, then what is going to be the state of the family? And if this family is in a state in which they are in need of rectification, then ultimately what's going to be the state of the community? Because any society, you're able to gauge its health level by way of examining the family. If the family structure is healthy, then this is a sign that that society is healthy. If the family structure is corrupted, if it is in a horrible state, then this will translate into the society being in a horrible state. So when we look now at our community, anyone who wants to see the health of the community, then we have to examine what is the situation of the family. What is the situation of ourselves as individuals? How well are we doing those things that we should be doing? How skillful are we in staying away from those things that we should stay away from? How well are we establishing those things that we should be establishing? I want you to reflect on this. I want you to contemplate on this. Our children, are we teaching them how to pray correctly? Are we teaching them the language by way in which they will come to understand what they are saying in their prayer? Are we diligent in teaching them the Qur'an, those ayat that they will utilize inside of their prayer, and the meaning of those ayat? Let us go back. Are we treating ourselves in that manner? Do we ourselves know? Are we ourselves, have we attained such? These are questions you have to ask. Because to have khushu' inside of the salah, that it will behoove an individual and it will help an individual by knowing what they are saying. It will help an individual by knowing what they are saying, so that they're able to contemplate, they're able to reflect. Because the salah, inna salata tanha anil fahsha'i wal munkar. Because the prayer, then it will repel an individual from all types of indecent behavior and from sin and transgression. So if you find that your prayer does not translate into you being more righteous, you being more away and further away and far removed from sin and transgression, then know that the problem is within you. The problem is within your prayer. Be it because you're not praying correctly, be it because you don't have khushu' inside of the prayer, so on and so forth. Therein lies the problem. So therefore, check yourselves before you are checked. Weigh yourselves before you are weighed. Judge yourselves before you are judged. Because for the likes of these individuals, what will earn them that which they have earned them was they're not praying. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us of those who truly establish the salah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us of those who do those things by way in which He loves and that He is pleased with. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep us far removed from every path, every trail, every way that will lead to the hellfire. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us tawfiq. هذا أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولجميع المسلمين فاستغفروا فإنه هو الغفور الرحيم. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وبعد. يا عباد الله, those ones who will be thrown and plunged into the hellfire, when it's asked to them, مَا سَلَكَكُمْ فِي سَقَرَ, what has earned them the hellfire? Why are you in hell? They respond by saying, قَالُوا لَمْ نَكُنْ مِنَ الْمُصَلِّينَ, they were not from those who used to pray. There's other things that they will say as well. Let us reflect on them. They will also say, وَلَمْ نَكُنْ نُطْعِمُ الْمِسْكِينَ, and we didn't feed the poor. We didn't feed the poor. Meaning, this is an example of their miserliness. But overall, this is because these were individuals who they didn't give zakat. They did not give sadaqah. They were stingy, miserly individuals. So therefore, they were not benefited by their wealth because they did not spend the vis-a-billah. These are characteristics of those people who are ruined. They don't give in charity. They don't give zakat. They don't feed the poor. I want us to ask ourselves. Don't look at the one in front of you or to the left of you or to the right of you or behind you. Don't let your gaze go beyond yourself. Ask yourself, how diligent are you in giving charity? How diligent and hardworking are you in giving charity? How diligent are you when it comes to paying your zakat? Do you pay it? Is it a concern of yours or not? Are you concerned about those who are in need or not? Because the believer is concerned for the believers. As the Prophet ﷺ, he said that none of you truly believes until he loves for his brother what he loves for himself. From the good things. So do we love for our brothers what we love for ourselves? We love to go to bed satiated, not feeling any types or signs of hunger pains. We like to go to bed with a full belly. Are we concerned about those brothers and sisters within the community? Those who may be going to sleep hungry? Those who may have to eat sleep for dinner? Are we concerned with them? Do we even know about them? Ya ibadallah. We have to have a concern. We have to show love for one another. And from the ways that we show love for one another is that we check on each other. From the ways that we show love for one another is that we ask about each other. When we meet and greet each other, when we say to the Kayf al-Hal, how are you doing? It is not just an arbitrary, generic statement that we say when we meet people. But rather we should be really concerned to hear the answer. How are you doing? Do you need something? Because we want to know. How are you doing? Are you hungry? If you're hungry, then let us work on getting you something to eat. Do you have food in your pantry? If you don't, then let us work on putting some food in the pantry. Are you okay? Are your children okay? Are you sick? Do you need a ride somewhere? Do you need something? This is how we should be as Muslims amongst ourselves, as a community. There should be no single Muslim woman in this community who should need or want for anything. There should be no single mother in this community that should need and want for anything, her nor her children. Because from the side of Iman is that we love for our brothers what we love for ourselves, from the good. Is this who we are? Or are we only concerned with ourselves? Nafsi, nafsi. Is this our statement, nafsi, nafsi? Me, me, me? Just me, just me? Or are we concerned with the believers? They will also say, وَكُنَّا نَخُوضُ مَعَ الْخَائِضِينَ. And we used to engage in the frivolous and false speech with those who engage in false speech. We used to engage in false speech with those who engage in false speech. Ya ibadallah, what does this mean? They will engage in false speech as relates to al-aqidah, as relates to their belief. So they will be spreading misbeliefs, incorrect beliefs. They'll be spreading these things. I want us to reflect and to contemplate. Are we from those who spread false beliefs? Are we from those who have no concern about the real belief and we just spread anything from false beliefs? These are individuals who they spread false beliefs. And as it relates to the deen, they spread misinformation. They indulge in falsehood, batil, bid'ah, innovation, so on and so forth. This is what they indulge in. Are we from those who indulge in the likes of these things? Are we from those who advocate and who co-sign the likes of these things? This is something that we have to think about. These individuals, يَخُوضُونَ فِي الْعَقِيدَةِ وَيُشَكِّكُونَ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. These are individuals who they falsely speak about the true creed and they give doubts to the Muslims. They spread doubts amongst the Muslims. Ya ibadallah and how many of the people they spread doubts amongst the Muslims? The likes of those who say statements like Islam laysa bil lihya. Islam is not in the beard. Islam laysa bil hijab. Islam is not inside the hijab. Islam laysa bil salah. Islam is not in the salah. Al-iman bil qalbi faqat. That the iman is in my heart and that's it. The iman is in my heart, I believe in my heart, so that's it. You're not going to tell me this or tell me that. I got iman in my heart. Qalbi abyad. My heart is clean. My heart is good. Ya subhanallah. Is this the case? This is the case? So you belittle aspects of the deen because you say Islam is not there? Was this the understanding of the Sahaba? Islam is not in the beard? So the Sahaba, they belittled the beard? The Prophet ﷺ, he said, Isriku liha. Leave your beards alone. So we deem this as not being important, so therefore what? You do what you want? Islam is not inside the hijab. Was this the characteristic and the attitude of the Sahabiyat? When the verses came down to cover their heads, they covered themselves. Did they go around saying, Islam is not a hijab, I cover maybe I won't, don't matter. Iman fi qalbi. I got the iman in my heart. That's it. Ya subhanallah. Is this the case? Islam is not inside the salah? What? The Prophet ﷺ, he said, العهد الذي بيننا وبينهم الصلاة فمن تركها فقد كفر. The Prophet ﷺ, he said that the covenant between us and between them, the difference between us and between them being the kuffar, is the salah. So whoever has abandoned the prayer, then verily they have disbelieved. So now you want to tell me that Islam is only in your heart? There's nothing from actions that is linked to your iman? The Prophet ﷺ said, Al-Iman bid'un wa sab'una shu'bah. أعلاها قول لا إله إلا الله وأدناها إماطة الأذى عن الطريق والحياء شعبة من الإيمان والحياء شعبة من الإيمان. The Prophet ﷺ, he said that Iman is 70 some odd branches. The highest of it is the statement لا إله إلا الله, which shows us that what? That statements are from Iman, because Iman is 70 some odd branches. Iman, faith. And from them what? The highest? The statement. The statement, La ilaha illallah. And the lowest of them is removing something harmful from the street. Removing something harmful from the street is an action. So that shows us that actions are from Iman. And shyness, being shy, is from Iman, is a branch of Iman. So that shows us that the affairs of the heart are from Iman. Therefore, Iman is a statement, is an action, is a belief inside the heart. It goes up and it goes down. That is Iman. So now, where is that from the statement? Al-Iman bil qalb. The Iman is only in the heart. Ya subhanallah. Who is more guided, you or the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said that Iman is a statement, is an action, and it's in your heart. Meaning he pointed us to that in this hadith. That it's a statement, it's an action, and it's that which is in the heart. So now who are you to restrict it as if your actions have nothing to do with nothing? This is your justification for your sin and transgression, that Iman is in your heart? Ya subhanallah. Ya ibadallah. I'lamu anna khayr al-kalam kalamullah. وأحسن هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. يا عباد الله, know that the best speech is the book of Allah, and the finest guidance is the guidance of Rasulullah. The finest guidance is the guidance of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And the worst of all affairs are newly invented matters in the religion, because every newly invented matter in the religion is a bid'ah. Every bid'ah is a going astray, and every going astray is in the hellfire. Ya ibadallah, نسأل الله تعالى أن يوفقني وإياكم لما يحبه ويرضاه, وأن يجعلنا مباركا حيثما كنا, وأن يجعلنا ممن إذا أعطي شكر وابتلي صبر وإذا أذنب استغفر, فإن هؤلاء ثلاث عنوان السعادة. هذا يا عباد الله, هذا يا عباد الله, والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. فأقيموا الصلاة.